Holy moly, second week. The second week of February, second week of the theme, Revelation of Unity, right? So it's wonderful that it's our anniversary. I love it. Yeah, and it's a celebration, the revelation of unity. And today's talk is Beloveds All, because that's the truth of us, isn't it? That is really the truth of us. We are all one with, one of, and one as the living Spirit. That is the truth of us. There's nothing else to be said. Right down to the cellular components of your body. It's just spirit. It is just spirit showing up in form. We are 100% spirit. That is who we are. And we're celebrating our 11th anniversary as a community, right? As a community. We are a diverse community coming together to celebrate oneness. Right? That diversity, which knows that unity is at its base. We are a diverse community coming together to celebrate oneness. We are so different from each other in a lot of ways. And yet our teaching is this common bond, this idea of oneness, that we acknowledge the one from which all life flows. We look out on a world sometimes that looks very different, where everybody looks different from each other, odd times and difficult things and things unlike what we're used to or what we're wanting, but all the while knowing it's all God. All the while knowing it is all God. So like even here in this community, in our community of vision, we have people from all walks of life, yes? We have people from all different income levels, different politics, different religious backgrounds, different cultures. We come from different regions, different ethnicities. I could go on and on and on. Right? I mean, think of us just politically. We have Republicans, we have Democrats here, independents, probably libertarians, I don't know, or people with no affiliation whatsoever. Right? Right here in this very room. We have conservatives, we have liberals, we have fiscal conservatives, and we have social conservatives and fiscal liberals. And so, like everything is in this room. We are a microcosm of what's going on outside, right? There is a whole variety. We come from a whole variety of cultural and national and different ethnicities. Okay, here's a question. So how many here are Americans? Wow, there's a lot of us. Okay, and some of us may hold dual citizenship. We have no idea, right? There could be some people who are citizens of other countries. And almost all of our ancestors are from someplace else. Almost all of our ancestors are from and we bring characteristics with us, right? We bring characteristics with us, hair color, skin color, eye color, whatever, right? And we have different religious backgrounds. We span the entire spectrum. We are religious science right here in this room, but we have come from probably every tradition we could think of. I'm sure we have people with Jewish backgrounds, Methodists, Lutherans, Buddhists, atheists. Gotta love the atheists. They believe in energy, and so do we. I love it, We have Catholics. There was this great story about Ernest Holmes years ago. He was attending an interdenominational function in LA, and Ernest was sitting next to a Catholic bishop from a big Los Angeles church. And he was a good friend of Ernest's, and this bishop leaned over to Ernest and said, "Holmes, why are so many of my parishioners leaving my church to join the Religious Science Institute?" And Ernest just looked at him and smiled, and he said, "Well, it's really very simple. We practice what you people preach." Wow. But isn't that what drew us to this philosophy? Is that not what drew us to this philosophy from wherever we come? It is this practical practice. It is the actual practical application of spiritual laws in the natural world. And by putting them into actual practice in our lives, we can change the conditions around us. That's why we always call this a practical spirituality. This is why we have been drawn here from all walks of life, from wherever we came. We are drawn here for that very reason, for that philosophy. We want to know of ourselves, and we want to understand our place in the universe, our personal cosmology. And when we know ourselves, we extend that understanding to all life everywhere. Ernest Holmes said this: we cannot only embrace ourselves. Somehow our arms must find themselves around the shoulders of humanity. We cannot worship a God that belongs to us alone. Only as we enter into a feeling of the essence that diffuses itself everywhere, then at last we can look at each other and say, I worship God in your form. And this, dear ones, is our philosophy: to see everyone as some part of the life of God. That is what we've been charged to do here. That's our practice and that's our purpose. We are the people to lead the way into this holistic view of being in the world. There is God. There is only God in whatever form it chooses to show up. Ernest Holmes said, my love goes out to everyone in the world. I do not exclude anything, for I love all nature and everything that is. My love warms and lightens everything it touches, and it goes out to all places. The love flowing through me is a power to all who come in contact with it, and all feel and know that I love, and that love within me is complete and perfect. That excludes no one. That excludes no one and no thing. Oh my God. This is us. This is us. This is our teaching and our philosophy, to exclude no one from our love. And if we are practicing this philosophy, this is who we are. This is who we are. Like Ernest Holmes said, our arms must find themselves around the shoulders of all humanity, excluding no one. So for us, that means we must do the healing work, and we must do the forgiveness work, and we must create an infinitely larger circle than the one we currently have. Including all means including all. I mean, regardless of politics, ethnicity, culture, religion, anything else that we might use as a box to separate a group out, to put them outside of our circle. We must create a circle large enough to bring them in. Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook said, one of the things to do is to love everybody. If you have not done this, begin to do so at once. Don't you love it? Now that's practical spirituality. Oh my God. Do I quote Ernest Holmes too much? Oh, thank God. Because I've heard. Anyway, I figured this is religious science. This is religious science, a philosophy synthesized by Ernest Holmes. So my quoting Ernest Holmes is totally appropriate. Right? If you don't want to hear Ernest Holmes quoted, maybe you're in the wrong place. I don't know. Maybe this is not your philosophy. No, I had calls. Anyway, what I know and what you know is Ernest Holmes never said we have to accept anything in the textbook. What he said was we are open at the top for further revelation. What Ernest Holmes did say was use what works for you. This is not dogma. This is not something that you must accept in order to sit in this room. Ernest Holmes always said, use what works. Read the book. Practice the principles. Prove to yourself it works. And what you do not resonate with, let go. Dismiss. So what works for you, use. What doesn't work for you, let it go. He always said we should approach any faith philosophy with questions. With questions. Prove to yourself it works. Or Ernest Holmes said, you never check your brain at the door when you walk into this room. Always question. I just wanted to make that clear because this is not about, me standing up here and saying, this is what you have to believe. It's not. This is a philosophy, a working, living, dynamic, breathing philosophy, practical spirituality that you have to try, you have to experiment on, you have to use the principles, you have to prove that it works to you. Anyway, have you been watching the Winter Olympics? Yeah. Okay. Now there is a great opportunity to practice unconditional love. There is a great opportunity. Are you cheering for the best performance or are you cheering for the Americans? Okay, there you go. You're cheering for everybody. That's even a better way to do it. Cheer for all of them. They're all talented, elite athletes, the top of their profession, the top of their sport, right? Oh my gosh. They're all adding to this magnificent performance. Every one of them. There are Russians. What's really interesting this year, I noticed there are Russians and there are Japanese with coaches from the U.S. training in Michigan. It's like, isn't it weird? It's like they're all over the place. There's Italians and Canadians with Spanish coaches and they're training in South America. It's like, oh my God, talk about the global village. We are becoming more and more that. It's just amazing. Amazing. And this is our practice. This is our practice to not put any emphasis on, oh, this is better than that, or this is better than that, but to just look at these glorious events and see the humanity in all of it. See our oneness behind the diversity, behind all the different flags marching in. That's God too, and that's God too, and that's God too, and that's God too. It's just amazing. Our practice is that. To love all, no exceptions. Thomas Merton said, our job is to love others without stopping to inquire whether or not they're worthy. I love that. And this is religious science. That's what it is. It's religious science. We are equal opportunity lovers. Ooh, I like that. Equal opportunity. We are the beloved. We are the beloved in form, and what we know is so is everyone else. So is everyone else. Look around this room. Just look around this room. We are the beloved community. We are the beloved community. Thank you for coming along on this walk with me. You know what they said, if there's like a spiritual leader with nobody agreeing with them, they're just a person out for a walk. Thank you for coming along for the ride. Kurt Vonnegut said, the purpose of the human life, no matter who is controlling it, is to love whoever is around to be loved. Isn't that what we do? Whoever shows up in this room, we love them. Whoever comes through that front door, we love them. Whoever comes through the back door, we love them. Just showing up. Just showing up. And we just love on them. Because that's what we do, because that's what this beloved community is. No exceptions, no exceptions. So look around the room. Look at all of the beloveds that are here. We are the microcosm. We are the example of what can be done in the world. Right? We love each other, no exceptions. Even if we don't get along with everyone in the room, we still love them, right? Some people drive us nuts. Okay, that's the way it is. That's personality. But that's God too. That's God too. This right here is an example of what the world can be and should be and will be, because we're going to transform it with our practical spirituality. We're proving it in this room. We can prove it beyond the walls. We can prove it in this community, and then in the state, and then in the nation, and then in the world. This is your community. This is your tribe. And we are beloveds, all of us. Thank you so much.